Hey, True Believers, Englentine here. I wanted to talk about this Superboy thing. The whole, oh, John Kent's gay, or, you know, they say bisexual, but that won't happen. Same thing with that they did with Merrick Chavez. They say, oh, bisexual, but no, it's they're going to go full on gay. I think they say bisexual, so just in case it doesn't work, they can hook him up with a girl and resume as normal. There were things said yesterday. I did a live stream. I didn't want to touch on these issues in the live stream because I really wanted to have like a singular thought on this. And it was what was being said about Tom Taylor, what was being said surrounding the issue of making Superman, or in this case, Superboy, gay. This is not Superman. People are getting in their heads. It's like when Robin died. Everybody thought, you know, oh, the Robin I grew up with, the Robin I saw on TV. No, it's Jason Todd. In this case, no. It's the son of Superman. It's Superboy. They just know that a book called Superboy doesn't sell so well, so they call him Superman. He's not. And they say, okay, he's gay. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, so one thing I kept hearing is, it's so brave of Tom Taylor to have done this. No, it's not. It really isn't. And I'll tell you why. Because he's preaching to the choir. He is in an industry right now where obviously doing this is exactly what you need to be doing. As a matter of fact, yesterday, Dean Cain put out a statement saying this much, and I got to tell you, I hate that I found this out because this was all I wanted to say about this whole thing about this being so brave, this being so original. What Dean Cain said was brave would be having him fighting for the rights of gay people in Iran, where they throw you off a building for being gay. Now I've heard people attack him for this. I'm like, where is he wrong? Please, by all means, if you disagree with this, you tell me where he is wrong in this. Brave is not just, hey, look, we're changing a popular character to gay. And by the way, there's no change here. We had no idea what John Kent's sexuality was. You could have had a great story of him just growing up into this character. But they say it's brave. It's not, because he's not doing anything. There's nothing that challenges the status quo. And ladies and gentlemen, if you look, the social justice warrior is now the status quo. There is nothing that is challenging that. And he's right. Brave would be going after the causes, what makes a refugee, not beating up a border agent because you disagree with them. Everything that I've seen so far, and I got to tell you, I noped out of Superman, the John Kent title, in the first issue because of his totalitarian views. They made Tom Taylor writes John Kent as a dictator, and it shouldn't be that way. He says they're talking about having him fight climate change and deportation of refugees. He's dating a hacktivist. Of course, nobody old knows what a hacktivist is. Why don't they have him fight the injustices that created the refugees whose deportation he's protesting? That would be brave. And he's right about that. There's nothing brave about Tom Taylor doing exactly what the industry at this point in time, not the readers necessarily, but the industry wants him to do. So I'm going to put a kibosh on that. This whole thing is brave. And we're going down the list, if you haven't noticed here, of all the things that Tom Taylor's been praised for by doing this. The other two was he's being original. And I hate the fact that he beat me to the punch. But here you go. Once again, Dean Cain is talking, he talked about it, and it's true. Just 2 weeks ago, as a matter of fact, I had made a video about Tim Drake. How is this original if they did the same thing with Tim Drake not but 2 weeks ago? How is this original if we're seeing characters come out as gender swapped or race swapped, or their sexuality is not what you thought they were? They did this with Bobby Drake, with Iceman. And the worst thing about when they do this kind of thing is that they make the worst stereotypes. They make the worst stereotypes of these characters. If they're gay, they're going to be worse than the gay guy in Mannequin or in Will and Grace, you know, the flaming, for freak's sake, with Iceman, they had him carrying around a how to be gay guide. I had more gay people give me comments about how this is offensive than anybody who was praising it. And it's not the case of, oh, well, gay character bad. No, and I'm afraid that that's what this turns into. There should not be any kind of gay bashing going on. It's not what they do, it's how they do it. And unfortunately, we have learned from writers like Tom Taylor that they cannot do this properly. They cannot create a three-dimensional character who isn't a white heterosexual male. They're incapable of it. And unfortunately, they don't even do that very well these days. And it gets ridiculous. This is not an original idea. It has been done to death. We've seen it. We've been there, and we refused to buy the t-shirts. We refused to buy the comics as well because we read the first issue, we read the second issue, and we find out that it's bad. It's written so poorly. The other part that they bring up is he's being creative. And once again, no, he's being Tom Taylor. One thing you see in modern comics with modern politics and so forth and so on is the writer rarely finds the voice of a character. If you look at Ta-Nehisi Coates on Captain America, that wasn't Steve Rogers. That was Ta-Nehisi Coates. Tom Taylor is not writing Superboy. He's writing Tom Taylor as Superboy. They're not being creative. They're not being original. There's nothing in this that is any kind of challenge whatsoever to anyone. And that's the poor thing. And what's worse is they would hear right now it's up to about 7 minutes worth of me ranting about this, and they'll go, well, you just hate put in whatever demographic they're entering into, which tells you that not only will they write a character poorly, but they will never improve because they will never listen and they will never accept the fact that what they do is bad. What they do is it's just not written well. Once again, and I cannot overstate this. This is not the same thing as the Tim Drake thing. John Kent, we had no idea of his sexuality. He very well could have grown into this in a very natural way. I think there was missed opportunities. Brian Michael Bendis is possibly the worst thing to happen to DC Comics in the past 10 or 15 years because he missed the opportunity of a true and good story being told like that with this character. Even if you wanted, the whole point was to lead him to the awareness of who he is sexually, which is a stupid thing for a superhero, because why make that the focus? Even if you wanted that story, there was a huge missed opportunity by aging him up. Because we didn't see how he grew up and how he grew into what he grows into. But they won't see it that way. They just won't. There are so many good stories to be told. Heck, there's good stories to be told starting at this point. But unfortunately, Tom Taylor, and I doubt most modern comic book writers are up to that particular task. And I think that's a major point that we have to bring up. So ultimately, if you look on the thumbnail and you see the 4 words I have there, it leads to this. This isn't a creative decision. This isn't a brave decision. It definitely isn't an original decision. What it is, it's a boring one. It's a boring one because we have to go through this again. It's a boring one because we've all talked about this before. We've pointed it out. We pointed out the hypocrisies of this. We pointed out where ultimately what happens is they bring on somebody. They say, hey, we're changing this. We're doing this. So all of the people who look at it for more than 5 seconds, like myself, go, hey, here's the outrage. And so they get a little sales bump. And then once that sales bump is over, said gay character, said race-swapped character or whatever, just kind of goes away. Sure, there's the exception of Miles Morales. But he's standing out because he truly is an exception. They're not pushing Iceman anymore. America Chavez had 2 tries. Nobody's pushing that. They were the tokens. They were used, and now it's time to discard them because they no longer work. We now have to bring up new characters in order to push this particular, I'm going to say, agenda. Now, unfortunately, that's what it's turned into. There are gay characters out there that could have been used. There are original black characters out there that I've literally been told. This is something when we started our little customer revolt, and I brought up original black characters. They called me a racist for it. They don't see black characters as being viable. They don't see gay characters as being viable. That's why you have to make John Kent gay. They see John Kent being viable. They see Superman. You slap the word Superman onto it, okay. But you can't make it an original because they believe it won't sell. Not me. I think if you write a character well, it should sell. Hawkman is the exception to that rule because that book is awesome and nobody buys it. But the thing is, we believe, hey, you put out anything. I don't care what it's about. I care how it's about it. That's the most important thing. And unfortunately, the people who are calling you the racist, the people who are calling you the homophobe, they have no confidence that a gay character will sell. That's why they do this. Anyway, that's my opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comment section. If you do like this video, please consider watching the video that's showing up right about now to talk to you about what the Tim Drake situation was. Also, don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Set it on all and go on over to Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the till. Helps keep the lights on, helps keep making videos for you. Like, thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.